All right, and welcome back to episode 53 of the Alec Frengos Show. This is a sports podcast centered around NBA and NFL. And today I'm joined by Jay Price, his brother Joey Price, and Wyatt Thomas of College Sports Media. And first, we're going to get into the NBA Finals preview here. The Oklahoma City Thunder defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5, and the Indiana Pacers upset the New York Knicks in 6 games. So I'll start with you, Jay. What's your outlook on this matchup? Obviously, you're a Thunder fan, and series prediction and Finals MVP.
Okay, well, I think the one thing I'm looking forward to is seeing the Pacers' offense versus the Thunder's defense.
1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. Super fast pace. The Thunder have so many good guards to throw at Halliburton, but I mean the Pacers move the ball so well. They get it to the corner. They have a lot of really good shooters. So I'm looking forward to that. As for a series prediction, I think it'll be similar to a lot of other people. I'm going to say probably Thunder in 5. I think Pacers will sneak one at home, and then Hallie will jump up on the thing like Patrick Beverly, and then they'll go down in another 2 games.
Become a new meme.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. That's my prediction.
Wyatt, thoughts?
I think you're giving the Pacers too much credit. This seems like a series where something would have to go terribly wrong for it to even be close. Like, I think the Thunder would have to forget how to play basketball.
For them to even have a shot.
Yeah, the odds, as heavy as they are, seem like they're in the right place. The Thunder just... The Pacers are a better team than the Knicks, but the Knicks match up much better against the Thunder than the Pacers would, and would have... I would think that'd be an interesting series that I could see going 6 or 7 games. This one, I agree with you. I don't see it going any longer than 5, but I think the Thunder are busting the brooms out.
Really?
Finals MVP?
I'm going to go
chalky.
Shea?
Yeah. Shea.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Thunder in 6.
I respect it.
I think the Pacers deserve a little bit of credit. No one expect them to be here. I think they match up pretty well. They both use big benches. So the Pacers, they're not going to be out of breath against this Thunder team. They both love to play fast-paced games. So I think this is going to work in the Thunder's favor, too. I think Halliburton, he's either going to be a scorer or a passer, whatever one the Thunder allow in this series. He's going to have a lot of bodies on him, but he's going to make the open read. And I think if the Pacers can hit their shots, as they've done in every other playoff series this year, they can definitely take 2 games. And, Thunder win. Shea's going to win Finals MVP.
Yeah, for me, like you just said, you have to give the Pacers credit.
Yeah.
Because people didn't think they would beat a healthy Bucks team, even though I thought they would. But the majority of people took the Bucks if they were fully healthy. They did, even though Lillard blew his Achilles. But Pacers had that series wrapped.
Yeah.
Against the Cavs, people said Cavs 1 seed. They look unstoppable. Pacers beat them. Cavs are fraudulent. That's a different conversation, though, anyways. And then New York versus Indiana. People thought there's no way they're going to come into New York. They stole that game 1. Knicks were up 14 with a minute left, I believe. It was something crazy like that. Yeah. Pacers steal that, and you kind of felt like they stole the series right then and there. They took that momentum, and they ran with it. But giving the Pacers their respect like we have to, all these types of runs always don't end up like this. When you're the team that's not meant to get there, it's very rare for a team like this to win the championship. Thunder have been the best team all year. Let's just be honest.
They're also the best team we've seen in a while.
For sure. And Pacers are going to come out and run fast and try to score. Thunder do have the number 1 defense, but the Thunder, people got to think their offense also can go run out and score too if they really 100%. Want to. So I think the Thunder are just going to overpower in this series. I'm going to say it. OKC in 4, sweep. Shea, Finals MVP. The Pacers might steal 1 game where they get blazing hot, but OKC's defense, the ball pressure, their perimeter defenders, they're just suffocating. Halliburton's a player where he doesn't like to turn the ball over a lot. He's going to be seeing double teams and ball pressure that he's never seen all season and maybe in his career. He's going to have Lou Dort and switch off to Caruso. Then you have guys that come in like Jalen Williams. You're going to have a guy, Cason Wallace, that comes in. There's just so many bodies you can throw at him. And if you want to be competitive, you won't be able to put TJ McConnell in this series and have him make an impact because the ball pressure is way too good. You can't put Ben Shepherd as a ball handler. These guys will just dominate. The interior is going to be dominated by Chet and Hartenstein. So it's really just an overpowering of talent and the matchup does not favor Indiana one bit.
Biggest finals favorite since the KD Warriors.
Yeah. 2017?
2018. 2018, they were minus 1,000 because that was when Kyrie was out of there.
And they won their first.
And the last team to win at like a situation like this was the 04 Pacers, who were plus 500 and beat the Lakers in 5.
And they didn't win.
No, they won the title. Not the Pacers. Sorry, 04 Pistons, who won the title
against
the Lakers.
Okay.
Prevented the Lakers 4-peat.
Damn.
So. Yeah, I mean, like, it seems so scratch. We're all saying Thunder 4, 5, 6. Shea Finals MVP, but I don't see it another way unless... Because Shea's going to be getting what he wants. I get Neesmith is cool, but we thought Jaden McDaniels was going to be stop Shea. How Jaden McDaniels stopped Jimmy Butler, how he stopped KD last year, how he stopped Booker, right? He was this superstar stopper. Shea destroyed him the whole series, but Game 3 when they blew them out.
Yeah.
So, Neesmith, I'm not worried about him. Sorry, who's the other defender? I guess Ben Shepherd, Nemhard, he stepped up.
They'll throw Nemhard and Neesmith.
I'm not really worried about that for Shea because he's one of these bigger guards, right? People don't really see that too often. He's going to be cooking unless something happens crazy where Jalen Williams somehow averages 30 throughout the series or Chet dominates inside.
It seems highly unlikely that anyone would have the stats to win Finals MVP if the Thunder do what we're expecting them to do, because if they do, then Shea's probably going to have pretty good numbers.
Yeah, very easily because he puts up a lot of shots too, right? He's going to get to the line. He's going to probably have 10 points off free throws. So it's going to be very hard to beat that unless these games are total shootouts and multiple guys have 30 and someone has a game winner, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I got Thunder in 4, Shea Finals MVP.
I'll stick with Thunder in 5. Yeah.
Shea Finals.
Thunder in 4.
Shea Finals MVP.
And I have Thunder in 6.
I mean, if the Pacers somehow win this will probably be the greatest championship run we've ever seen in our life.
For sure. And if that does happen, imagine the legacy Siakam will have.
Yeah.
Because I think if the only way they win is if he's like insane. Like, I think he'll have to go off and just dominate Chet and
I don't
probably
think he will.
Williams. I don't think so either, but I mean, the shot in the dark.
And in a crazy world where Halliburton beats Shea, we can't say Shea's better than Halliburton. If Halliburton outplays him and beats him in the finals,
100%.
There's no chance because Shea has the better team too. So, but it's just, I think we're getting very unrealistic, but anything happens in sports.
Might as well throw it out there.
So, yeah. We'll get into this. Eastern Conference Finals runner-up. New York Knicks fire their head coach, Tom Thibodeau, earlier today. And is this a deserved firing? What went wrong for the Knicks? Joey, I'll start with you.
Well, they lost, obviously, because of the Pacers' clutch game. Mm-hmm. This whole playoffs, it's been unreal. And also just Tom Thibodeau's rotations, and also just not using the bench because it was a terrible matchup versus the Pacers. Yeah. He got outcoached by Carlisle, and you just can't use like 7 guys against a team that plays as fast as the Pacers too and let them dictate the pace of the game. So it definitely was deserved. And like with the Knicks, you're not gonna win with Thibodeau as a head coach, in my opinion. No. You have to bring in like a bigger guy that can win. And I also don't know if you can win with Brunson, just because I think he takes way too many shots per game and he doesn't get his other guys involved.
I agree with that take on Brunson, and I also agree with the take on Thibodeau, because if you look at him, even in games where they're winning fairly easily, he's still playing way too much.
Yeah.
And Thibodeau, the guy who should have learned from this, because he killed Derrick Rose's career by doing this and putting him in a playoff game that was a blowout, and he blows his ACL. We've seen in the last 2 years, Knicks look unbelievable at the start of the playoffs, win a couple rounds, and then run out of steam.
They all got hurt against the Pacers last year.
Exactly. They get hurt, they run out of steam. You need to take advantage of take advantage of the opportunities where you can rest your stars, because there's going to be games where you cannot rest them and 100%. Have to play them. So when you do get those rare playoff opportunities to get those guys those extra 10 minutes of rest at the end of a game, take advantage of it. It does matter.
Sure. I 100% agree. I think like a common saying is you practice how you play. In this sense, like regular season, they're still playing these guys like 40 minutes a game.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I find it so stupid because there's cases where you're in a 7-game series, maybe one of your star players goes cold and you need someone to come and fill in. Mm-hmm. Those guys just aren't ready to step up to the moment because they haven't had enough reps.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge issue. I thought they would beat the Pacers in this unique scenario.
Yeah.
But man, I don't think that he as a coach, I don't think his philosophy will work. in the long run, because as someone said, like early in the playoffs, they look awesome, run out of steam in the end. And another side note I want to make, kind of a little bit unrelated, but I think Mikal Bridges should be taking way more shots. Like, just super random, but...
I was going to say that exact same thing, going off Joey's point.
Yeah.
That's where you give up 4 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, and Brunson's holding the ball in an ISO every play.
Way too
you
good,
gave up the house for this dude when he was playing like an all-star in Brooklyn. Let's not forget, he was worth the 4 first-round picks.
So good.
And he's sitting corner, and he's not even there to guard on ball. That's OG Anunoby's job to guard the number one. Even though Mikal Bridges is an elite perimeter defender, even all-around defender.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges should be getting up 15 to 20 shots a game. This guy can score 25 points a game
easily
on in and out nightly basis. And this conversation, if the Knicks do the same thing next year, even with a coach, I think it's going to be time to trade Jalen Brunson. If you have this core, you need a point guard who's like a
distributor,
but he can also give you 20, because I don't think if your point guard's just a pure playmaker, they don't have enough scoring.
Yeah.
Towns, he'll give you 20, 25, maybe 30. Bridges can give you 25. OG will give you 15. But having a point guard that's can't get your team involved when you have a bunch of skilled offensive players alone from Brunson is a big mistake, because it just felt like they're being wasted.
Yeah.
Especially in the fourth quarter. Like, you have these guys that can hit shots, and you're just wasting them away because Brunson wants to dribble at the top of the key till there's 10 seconds left, then run pick and roll action. It's frustrating to watch, too.
They need a more standard point guard, like the regular style point guard that you see in the NBA, not a guy is very good in those one-on-one situations and can hit big shots. However, the issue is, when it gets that big situation, you know who's taking the shot, and so does the other team.
Yeah.
And he's not going to pass out of it, so you have to hope he can hit some crazy triple team step back thing that he's going to put up instead of just passing to the guy who's wide open in the corner.
I think the perfect person for a point guard, really, like on a championship team, is who we had here for a long time, Kyle Lowry. Defense, he'll give you 20, he'll give you 5 assists, he'll play his ass off, and he's looking to make other guys around him better, but he'll take the open shot and go after it when it's needed. I think that point guards like that are too valuable in the NBA nowadays. But, I mean, for the Knicks, it's going to be tough, but next head coach, I instantly think Michael Malone, right? He's championship experience. He's got this roster. I think he can make it work. If they hire, I'm not saying Brunson's the problem. He is a little bit of an issue when it comes to getting other guys involved. But I look at Michael Malone. I think he can really elevate this team.
Yeah, like the biggest guy in the market for sure is Malone. Other than that, like maybe an assistant on one of these teams that are good. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really familiar with these NBA coaches. But another thing about Thibodeau, like, I wouldn't put all the blame on him. Like, Josh Hart was horrendous.
He was terrible.
Towns, although he's good at, like, the start of the playoffs, he kind of fell off in this series. And then Bridges, yeah, he should take more shots, but I also think he should avoid, like, these, like, fadeaway mid-ranges.
He takes so many.
He takes too many of them.
The only shots he takes.
And, like, he misses way too many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Malone has to be the favorite for this job. And it would honestly kind of surprise me if he didn't want to take this, because I don't see a better job coming available for a head coach.
It's one of the best jobs in the sport.
Exactly. You're going to be in arguably the biggest market in the NBA.
The biggest market.
They're Lakers.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Maybe Boston, but like I don't see a better opportunity coming available. I'm looking at the list of coaches here, and it's a severe fall-off after that. It is Taylor Jenkins, Mike Brown, Frank Vogel, and we know how those movies end. So I think the Knicks need to make a full court press to get Michael Malone.
Did Budenholzer get fired from Phoenix this year too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Malone, I think it would just be like a perfect match because he has the championship experience and he's good with dealing with the spotlight, and there was no reason for him to be fired. So I think that would be an A+ hire for the Knicks. But yeah, I mean, Taylor Jenkins isn't even terrible either. If they got him, I really like him. But I think it just takes a guy to be able to utilize their team more. It seems like Thibodeau relied too much on Brunson. Like, he didn't want to change the system anyway. It was Brunson or die. Mm-hmm. And they've died 2 years in a row with championship experience.
Yeah, I'm just going to add on to that, I guess. I think Michael Malone's a great pick. Just looking back to, I remember the Nuggets in the finals a few years ago. He maximized the potential of his bench, I feel like. And I feel like the Knicks, if they go in there, get in their bag in free agency, they get a few veteran signings, they get a few guys they can throw in the rotation. Mm-hmm. They just need to rejig their philosophy, and I think they'll be fine. Yeah. I think Brunson may be slightly an issue, but I think they'll be completely fine if they just get some contributors off the bench to help them.
You mentioned trading Brunson. I think they just need a coach to bring in and say,
I agree.
hey, that ain't how you win.
No.
That's how you win individual awards. You want a ring, change your style of play, or we're going to kick you out the door.
And Brunson's a guy that can easily get 6 assists from how he creates shots. When he sees doubles, he can pass that ball. He just shoots a lot of dumb shots sometimes. And if they actually have an offensive system where they're moving the ball, they're going to be fine. Obviously, Brunson's not an off-ball player. He doesn't have size. He's like not a spot-up shooter, but he obviously can. But something needs to change. I want to see Brunson average like 6 to 8 assists in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Forget the regular season, and then Michael Malone, he'll get the young guys involved too, which will be good for the development too of these young players on this team. But moving on from the NBA, actually moving on from that topic, I got a couple players that are in the finals here. Would you rather? Some breakout stars this year. We'll start with the hottest name in the NBA right now, Tyrese Halliburton. He's been on a heater. When he got traded from Sacramento, he was a rising star. He kind of broke out last year as like, okay, this guy's an all-star. And then now I think we can all agree that he's a superstar. I think that's very consensus. So I'm going to give a couple names here who are high-end all-stars, couple superstars on this list, and you tell me who you would rather. First name, I'll start with you, Jay. Ja Morant.
Hallie.
Hallie?
That's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm taking Halliburton.
Yeah, definitely Hallie.
Same. And something about Tyrese before we carry on, like, he's not going to have 30 and 10 regularly. Obviously, he did in game 4. 4? 3, 4,
yeah.
something like that.
Is that the overtime game?
4, yeah, they beat.
Was it?
Yeah, 4 they won against the Knicks.
4 is where they won by
3-1.
like 9 against Knicks, yeah. Something about him. He's not the flashing box score guy. If you turn on the TV and you watch Tyrese Halliburton play basketball, no matter what he's doing, he makes the winning play. That's why I really respect him, because there's a lot of guys who are going to want to go at the press conference and look at their stat sheet after the game. He doesn't care. His team's winning. It's showing. He might not have the flashiest stat line, but he helps his team win games, and he's the best player on this team. So 100% credit to him, because a lot of people look at some guys and be like, he's better because he averages 30 and 8.
32, 15, and 12 in Game 4.
It was 0 turnovers, right?
0 turnovers.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
So, like, that's what I mean by impacting winning. Like, not a lot of players are doing... Maybe no players are doing that in the NBA. That efficiently on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Next name, Trae Young.
Hallie, easily.
God, easy.
Trae Young
Yeah, like Trae Young
can't play defense.
Trae Young's like similar to Brunson. He's just like a better passer.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah. Definitely Halliburton. He's a playoff player.
Talking about playoff player, this guy's pretty good in the playoffs. So what have you seen recently? De'Aaron Fox.
Still Hallie for me.
Yeah, I'd still take Halliburton.
Yeah, Halliburton for sure.
Same. Kyrie Irving. This is currently.
Currently, I'm taking Hallie.
Yeah.
Just especially off
Easily.
the injury. Like,
Yeah.
Easily?
yeah, it's
No,
pretty
Kyrie
Often
cannot
ace
lead a
ace.
team to win.
Yeah.
Been proven time and time again. He needs to be the number 2 guy.
Okay. Last name, Damian Lillard.
I think if you asked me 2 years ago,
Yeah.
like Dame 2 years ago versus Hallie now would be close, but I'm going to take Hallie.
Yeah, current Halliburton, I think you gotta go with.
Yeah, I think he clears him now.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially considering the injury as well.
Yeah.
So, Halliburton is a top 4 point guard.
Yeah.
5.
Shea,
Steph.
Doncic, Curry.
And Brunson and him, I think, are interchangeable.
Who
I
would you
think-
have,
I think
Brunson or
Hallie's better
Hallie?
than
Yeah,
Brunson.
I mean,
I think now you
I'd still take Brunson, but I think it's
I don't
very,
know.
very close.
I don't know, outdueled him
I don't
2
think
years
so,
in a row in
man.
the
I can't-
playoffs, so it's
I don't
kinda tough,
think so.
but-
I think it's, for me, it's
Who are you
pretty
taking?
Yeah, I'm still
Clear.
taking Brunson. Just as like the pure player itself.
Yeah.
Like he's
But this is what I say about Halliburton. Like, he impacts winning way more than
Yeah.
Brunson.
Yeah, he
It's just
does.
obvious because he had a worse team than Brunson. this year.
Halliburton having a bad game can still help his team win in ways other than scoring, and Brunson cannot do that.
100%.
Brunson's
I don't
so
know.
one-dimensional.
Who would you say the better
Yeah.
defender is?
Oh,
Halliburton?
Halliburton.
Yeah.
Brunson's
Halliburton's
very bad on defense.
Yeah, he's a big liability. Would you say Halliburton's better than Doncic or Curry or no?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
No,
I don't think he ever will be. Like
No.
Probably
Well,
when
he'll
he's-
never be better than
No.
Doncic, and Curry will probably.
I mean,
he'll probably
like,
take till he retires.
Yeah, Curry,
so-
like, what is regressing year by year due to age, so, like, he might pass Curry at some point, but, yeah, Doncic is going to be a pretty tough sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people with the recency bias, they'll probably say, "Oh yeah, but Doncic is out of shape." Blah, blah, blah. Stop it.
We watched him make
Yeah,
the
he's in
finals, last year.
Yeah, going crazy also.
Yeah.
I like this player better for Would You Rather. Jalen Williams, Would You Rather, because this is a established second guy on a championship team, obviously, right?
Yep.
He's kind of emerged. He was an all-star this year, so I'm going to say some names here, and who would you rather, who's the better player right now? And then I have a category of 2 other players. Who would you rather have for the future? Okay, so these are who's better right now. Jalen Williams or Mikal Bridges?
That's tough. You guys know?
I would for sure take Jalen.
I'd take Jalen Williams as well.
I would too. But it's so, I don't know. I love Mikal Bridges.
I feel like they'd be pretty
I think they're
interchangeable.
I think they're pretty close.
I like Jalen Williams. He's a more efficient scorer, and they're actually almost similar as a defenders, I think.
Yeah.
I think you could swap them out and you'd get pretty much the same result.
I agree. Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, Jalen Williams.
Yeah, Jalen Williams.
Brandon Ingram can score,
I've never been
and
a
that's
big
about
fan
it.
of
And have we ever seen Brandon Ingram do anything in any kind of big game?
No.
In the playoffs against the Suns, like 4 years ago, that's it.
A while ago. And
he's on the Pelicans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Against the Suns.
Yeah,
Remember when
like,
they took that team to... Did they take them to 7?
The Suns?
Yeah.
Was that 2021?
When
20,
they won the
2022.
They went to the
the 1 year
finals?
Zion was healthy?
2022.
When the Pelicans when the Suns
No,
went
the
to
year
final?
after.
Year after?
I
don't
that,
remember
to be
the
honest.
Pelicans being in a game 7.
I don't either. I think it was probably 6, but
Okay. Austin Reeves.
Okay.
That's just disrespectful.
Is that disrespectful?
That is
I feel
really
like that's
disrespectful.
disrespectful.
Yeah?
Yes.
Austin Reeves is just a scorer.
Is
He's just like,
crazy.
Yeah.
That is actually
all
insane.
around. Like, Reeves is like...
and a team's gonna overpay on Reeves.
Yep.
I can't imagine him being a second option
Okay.
in my head.
Yeah, he will never.
Jaylen Brown.
Oh, that's
a good
really
one.
tough.
That's a good one.
Really?
I'm still gonna take Jalen.
Same.
Yeah.
Jalen Brown's
You gotta
better
respect
right now, I
what
would
he's
say,
done.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Finals MVP, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown, he's been on a good team for a number of years.
And been the reason they're good.
But only one of them can dribble with their left hand, so maybe I'll pick Jalen Williams.
True. Pascal Siakam.
Ooh.
Who'd you rather have right now?
Pascal.
Yeah, I think I'd pick.
I'd rather have
slightly.
Jalen Williams.
Same.
Yeah.
I'd take Jalen Williams by a little bit. I think he's a better scorer right now than Siakam.
Yeah.
I think he has Siakam has actually pretty good defense. He can honestly guard 3 to 5 if he
Yeah.
needs to. So I think that's important, but I think I'd rather take Jalen Williams.
I think he may be a more efficient scorer, though, just because he's in a better system. If
Who?
that makes Jalen Williams than Siakam. Like,
Yeah.
I think the system
gets better shots,
Yeah,
for
would
sure.
have a lot to do. Like Siakam, I would say, is a better creator and is
Yes.
better at creating good
Yes.
scoring
Yes,
chances.
yes,
which
yes.
is why I take him.
Yes, I agree. Kawhi Leonard currently.
Jalen Williams. I'm not picking
Kawhi.
Kawhi. Kawhi doesn't even play.
I would like if I'm saying when he plays, like I'm taking Kawhi.
Who right now is the better player?
Yeah, I'd like to pick Kawhi, but I don't know.
I'm
I'd
not
like
pick- I'm
players
not
to
picking
play
him.
more than 10 games a year, so I will pick Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like obviously if you factor in who would you rather have on your team right now,
Yeah,
I'd pick
Jalen
Jalen
Williams.
Williams, but who the better player is when they both play, I think when Kawhi came back this year, when he was
Leonard.
healthy before they got bounced, Kawhi Leonard was the better player. This name I really like a lot. Franz Wagner or Jalen Williams?
Jalen Williams, just because he's won, he has all the experience.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jalen Williams.
Yeah, Franz is good, but nowhere near.
Kind of
Jalen Williams
too
right
similar,
now.
though. Secondary
Sorta, yeah.
guys that are young, up and
Yeah,
coming. But Franz Wagner really has... I find him a little bit overrated. I think he does stuff that people give him too much credit for. Like, people that say Franz Wagner's better than Scotty Barnes.
No,
I don't
they
like
watch
that take at
basketball.
all.
Yeah, I think they're similar players, but one's on a proven team and one isn't. So you have to take Jalen Williams.
Yeah. Okay, and these two are who would you rather have on your team for the future? Not saying in their role or stuff. Who would you rather have in the future? First name, Amen Thompson.
Is this like?
With J-Dub?
Is this like J?
Amen Thompson or J-Dub? Who would you rather have for the future?
Like if I'm like a new team and I want to sign with them as a free agent to be my future like number one.
Not your number
Just,
one,
like,
but like if
on it.
you're building a team and you have a guy, you have
So
guys
tough.
all around. Who would you rather have on your team, Amen Thompson or Jalen Williams? I'll go first because I thought about this a little bit. I'd go Amen Thompson just because he might win Defensive Player of the Year next year, and we saw his scoring take a leap this year. I think this dude's a full package. Like, he's very dangerous, and he's only getting better. He's in his second year, going into third next year.
Yeah.
He's really dangerous, but credit to Jalen Williams because obviously he's an all-star, but looking into the future, the Thompson twins, even I meant Thompson's better than Asar, but into the future they're gonna be an issue.
Yeah, I think it's so tough because Jalen Williams, I feel like inevitably when his contract is up and he goes to another team, he just has all the tools. He's still really raw and he's putting up 30 points in playoff games. So I'm gonna lean him just because of the physical tools, and I think as a scorer, he has so much potential still.
Yeah, I would also take Jalen Williams. I think he's better overall. You did mention the defense. I think the offensive advantage that Jalen Williams has over Amon Thompson is bigger than the defensive advantage that Amon Thompson would have.
Sure?
I agree.
I think so.
You think so?
With that.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Williams would be better as a number one, and then Amon Thompson, he'd need to be on a team that scores around
where
him.
you can just plug them in.
Yeah.
As like a complementary piece.
Yeah, kind of depends on the situation of which player I'd rather have, but like if I'm starting a franchise, I think I'd rather Jalen Williams.
I agree. I just think when the Rockets, I think if they get rid of Jalen Green and Amon Thompson takes on more of a role, he can average 20 with like 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and like 2 steals and 2 blocks a game. Like this guy's serious on defense when you watch this dude. Like the raw athleticism is like very scary.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since LeBron, the type of athleticism he has. Like he's doing some crazy things. The twitch when they played the Warriors, this guy would switch off from the 3-point line in the paint and block a shot on a pass. It was crazy. And then the next name for who you'd rather have in the future, Jalen Williams or Chet Holmgren. I'll let the Thunder fan answer first.
I'm going to pick Jalen Williams.
Let's just say who'd rather keep on the Thunder.
Yeah,
One's got to go.
I think I'm going to pick Jalen Williams.
To keep.
I think I love Chet, but he's just a little inconsistent. And it's just kind of hard because it's such a projection still, but I think Jalen Williams is more vital to the team as it is right now just because of Hartenstein, and I feel like it's more rare to get that sort of scoring, like do-it-all small forward that you can trust with the ball in his hands than a lanky shot blocker in today's day and age. Like I think Hartenstein plays a similar role to what Chet does right now even. Obviously, Chet can stretch the floor and stuff a lot better and block shots a lot better, but I think I'd pick Jalen Williams slightly.
Okay, I'll go second because I think I'm going to disagree with you just because Chet Holmgren is one of these body types that we seen since Giannis, Wemby, and him, right? These long unicorns where that can do anything asked on the floor. Chet can give you 2 threes a game. He can give you 25 points. He's technically in his second year if you don't count the first year injury. 2022
draft, yeah.
But he didn't play 1 year, the whole hurt. 1 year. So this dude, he's under the best coach in the NBA, maybe. This guy's going to still be getting better. I'm not saying Jalen Williams has hit his peak. He's still getting better, but I think when you have all these tools to work with, it could be very scary if he puts on 10 more pounds, gets a more consistent jumper, shot blocking. Like, this guy can be a very, very big issue. I'll just keep Chet based off of the upside, and right now he's not even bad. Like, he's no sort of a liability. He's giving you 20 and 10 with a couple assists and a couple threes, a couple blocks a game, and the guy's a do-it-all, man, so I'm just going to keep Chet.
Yeah, I agree. You mentioned the 10 pounds. I'm looking at it right now. 7'1", 208. Very, very small. I'd go over. I think he can put on 25 pounds.
He could, but NBA players need to be able to move seriously.
They do, but I think at 7'1", being able to move is not going to be your main concern because you're already one of the slower guys on the court just by the fact that you're that big. So I think he could do that, and that would increase his rebounding. He's For that height, only averaging 8 rebounds a game as a starter seems a little low. The block numbers are good.
He's got Hartenstein beside him, though. So
he does as well, but still, I still think that could be boosted up. It feels very realistic for him to be a 12 rebound a game guy.
Yeah,
for sure.
If he puts on the weight,
So
let's give this guy a couple more off seasons. He's gonna be an all-star in his career, no doubt, absolutely no doubt. We're gonna see when all these old heads retire, KD, LeBron, Steph, the front court of the All-Star game for the West is gonna be Wemby and Chet. Oh, yeah. I don't even it's not even a question. That's going to be when Jokic and Davis too are starting to get out of their prime. Flag too. He's a forward too.
He'll be small forward.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I see Chet, the potential's through the roof. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's really close. I just think it's a little harder to find like a two-way like guard forward that
wing.
Literally.
That's what I was thinking.
Like does it all. I mean, obviously Chet's like body type is like kind of rare to see, but I think you can easily find like a stretch four nowadays that can.
I think that body type's more common now.
Yeah, like you see it all the time now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just such a tough question because right now, like when Jalen Williams has a ball in his hand, I trust him way more than when Chet has the ball in his hand.
100%. I'm not disagreeing with
some of the things that he does is just like a little wacky.
That's why I said it's a future, because if you're saying a would you rather right now, Jalen Williams is better than Chet Holmgren. It's not really a debate. But I'm saying in the future, just based off what Chet can do, he's under one of the best organizations in basketball. He's a number 2 pick overall, so he can like. And for being a second year player, he's still amazing. I'm just gonna bank on the upside. So, rather that we'll talk a little bit of some NFL here. First, we'll go over a couple news breaks that have happened in recent weeks. We'll start first with this is NBA. Zion Williamson. I'll just say my thoughts, and you guys can kind of build off it, because it's not really a question. It's kind of like thoughts about him in general. Obviously, Zion Williamson was accused of the R word in recent days, and if true, it sucks. If it's another allegation, it sucks even more, because we've seen a lot of athletes been falsely accused. I'm not saying that every girl does that, but whatever. This isn't a politics show, so I'm not going to get into that. But his career's over if it's true. Mm-hmm. We all know that. But talking about Zion on the court, he was in trade rumors this offseason. We'll see what shakes out with that allegation, lawsuit, whatever. But this guy, man, I was talking to it with Wyatt. Could this be the biggest bust in sports history? I think this is fully on the table that he is. Because this guy came out of Duke, unstoppable, shoot the three, bully anyone in the paint, guard 1 through 5 legitimately. He could move, and when he got in the NBA, he stopped caring about basketball. Let's just be honest. Mm-hmm. Injury prone, didn't want to get in shape, and NBA players, no matter where you go, if you're elite, you can turn around a franchise. If you're a number 1 guy, LeBron,
if you're on the court,
Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry changed around the Warriors when they were trash. The list can go on, but I'm not going to ramble about it. This guy, I know you're a Pelicans guy. It sucks to see, because the sport deserved better from this, what the hype brought. And now, his career could be over, and 2, he was too lazy to bust his potential. It's not like a Derrick Rose where he tragically got hurt and he's done. Zion Williamson did not care about the sport.
Yeah. There's a common saying that goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. When I heard about the Mariah Mills stuff, he was up in Mariah Mills' draws, and she was posting on social media that she wanted, what did she want, like $1 million or something. I thought this guy just made a bad mistake. And maybe it wasn't a mistake after all. Maybe he's doing exactly what he wants to be doing instead of playing basketball. And it's heartbreaking, because his jersey's hanging in my closet right now. It's horrible. And it's getting tight on me, just like his jersey's tight on him.
We'll just put out a public statement. Jay doesn't condone
I don't
stuff.
associate Zion anymore.
He's alleged of. He's a Zion Williamson fan. When innocent, if he goes guilty, he'll get rid of the jersey. So nobody.
We'll burn it on camera
for future jobs, etc. Jay Price is not like that. He's a good, loyal human being and faithful. Okay.
Yeah, I'm avoiding all comments on that situation.
Okay, give me the basketball side, because you're a Duke fan.
Yeah, here's what I'll say. I don't think he's the biggest bust ever, because he has had moments, and there's been guys who have been number 1 overall picks and done absolutely nothing.
Anthony Bennett?
Yeah, Greg Oden, the list goes on.
Did Greg Oden get injured or no?
He did, but still, it was just terrible. But it might be one of the bigger wastes of talent ever, because this is, I would say, aside from LeBron, the 3 most hyped up high school players ever.
NBA.
I know, but like players from high school.
LeBron, Wemby, Zion.
Maybe the Ball brothers as well.
I was going to say LaMelo maybe. But
I'd say LaMelo as well. Like,
he wasn't even number 1, though.
That's what I mean, though. But like guys who, like, we knew about them from the time
You're saying clout-wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
We knew they were... We knew this guy is legit from the time they're 16 years old. Yeah. And
LaMelo was 14.
Exactly. So we followed them to that point, and now Zion just...
He let us down.
100%. And he's one of the more entertaining players to watch when he's on the court. I remember his first year, the first time he matched up against LeBron, there was that wild sequence where he had like a super powerful dunk, and then you got the Ep.53 on the way down where he hit it from like a step over.
How about his first summer league game when he ripped the ball out of Kevin Knox's hands and Kevin Knox went flying and he punched down? We're like, this dude's going to change our lives as basketball fans.
I watched a lot of Duke games. I watched one where he jumped from in the key to block a three-point shot from the corner.
College Zion is the most exciting college player I've ever watched in my life watching March Madness. It's not even a debate.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this situation?
I mean, there's not really much to add. Like, he's just a bust, like such a talented player.
You're calling it now? If he goes to another team, you think there's zero chance he turns it around?
That he can be an all-star max. All-star max. But I'm going to say something about Zion. Sorry to cut you off. I said last year, I don't know if you remember this, when we were talking preseason NBA, I said, this is the last year I'm going to give Zion Williamson to get his shit right, or else he's done for me in my book. He's absolutely done. He's a bust. I'm saying, there's guys, Andrew Wiggins, can we call him a bust? From his draft position, yes. Did he make it out to find something? His role on the Warriors, yes. But from where he was drafted, he's a bust. But he figured out his way. That's fine. He wasn't.
Not everyone's gonna be a Hall of Famer who's a number one pick.
I get that, but I'm just saying in general. There's guys that have fulfilled roles once they get in a different situation. Are the Pelicans a dump? Yes.
Yeah.
Did they maybe fail Zion from a coaching perspective? They probably should have been way more strict on him to start with. So, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to what the player wants to do, right? Whatever the player wants to do, it's their choice if they want to be great.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I'm done with Zion in New Orleans.
Sure.
If he gets out of there, I'd be willing to look and see what he can do. But
if innocent,
yes.
Obviously.
We'll keep that in the air.
Yeah, he'd have to play basketball for him to change his opinion. So if he's not playing basketball, he's definitely a bust.
Since you're talking now, I'm just going to move to the next scenario. Some more news in the sports world. We'll pivot to some NFL. What? Stephon Diggs on a boat while having a girlfriend with 3 other girls that are not his girlfriend, partying, and he pulls out a bag.
TMZ.
Bag has been assumed of condoms, tree, and some illegal white drugs. So, Wyatt, what are your thoughts on the situation? And 1, does Diggs deserve to get punished? In which way? And number 2, how should the Patriots handle a player like this? Because the Patriots haven't seen a player like this since Aaron
Randy
Hernandez. Something like that. But they're not used to this persona.
I would argue that they are, honestly. That was kind of the Patriots' MO, is like bring
Antonio
in these guys.
Brown.
They're not afraid of these personalities, but they've been able to control them. But the main guy who controlled them is not there anymore. We've known Stephon Diggs as a clown for a long time. He does
off the field.
Yeah, I think he's pretty damn overrated on the field now too. But he's like, I don't know. These guys like to party. He's out there. And also, you hear a girl. It's Cardi B. Like, this ain't a regular girlfriend. This is like. This guy's somehow making a member of the Migos look like a saint, which is impressive.
Yeah.
But he's a clown. There's a video. We've all seen the Vikings video. There's a reason none of them would want him to date their sister. Yeah. Like, when you signed Stephon Diggs, what exactly did you expect?
Yeah.
Did you think he was going to become a nun and go to church every Sunday? No, he's going to be on boats, partying, passing out whatever the hell pop, rocks, cocaine that is. We don't know. But, like, this is exactly what you signed up for when you signed Stephon Diggs.
And as a Patriots fan, the contract, it was an overpay. We all know.
Yeah, it was.
But is it a good overpay? Yes, because the Patriots have cap space. It's a $3 million deal. He's coming off an ACL. He's not only there to develop Drake May and be a target, because he's probably the only guy on this team that can evidently separate. I'm not a guy that looks at social media and be like, this guy's legit, but how he's moving off an ACL, we all have to say it looks pretty good. Yeah. He'll probably have 1,000 yards, 6 to 8 touchdowns. But I think he's there to teach these young guys too. Javon Baker and Jalen Polk didn't do anything last year.
What a mentor.
Not off the field. Stop.
What a mentor.
But when it comes, like, this guy's a legit receiver, like one of the best receivers of our generation. He'll be able to teach Javon Baker, Jalen Polk, these guys coming in, even Kyle Williams, who they recently drafted, right? So, he'll be fine. Will he be punished? Obviously not, because they would have done it. People said, is he going to get cut? Robert Kraft is not cutting a dude he paid that much money to. Like, let's just be fully
You also
straight up
cannot
honest.
prove what anything was.
Yeah,
that
and
that
even that he did
for.
it. Like, say it was the white type of drug. I ain't trying to get banned, but if they tested him for it, what if he didn't even do it? What if he just gave it to them? Like, there's so many conspiracies. Was it weed? Was it? They're fine with weed in the NFL anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, it was Pop Rocks, man. What do you mean?
So I'm not really worried about this, because I know one thing I know about Stephon Diggs. He does a lot of dumb shit off the field, but when it comes to Sundays, he's 100%. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I don't have much else to comment, but I don't know. Usually when NFL players go on boats, it doesn't end up well.
Yeah,
Odell.
Yeah, Giants there. Yeah, just avoid boats.
Just avoid the boats. I would just tell him, if I could talk to him, I would say get off the boat
And chill with your girlfriend.
And chill.
Damn.
And, yeah, your girlfriend is right there, man.
Or like,
what? Like what? I was looking at the video when I first saw it. I'm like, okay, which one's Cardi B, right? Like, which one's his girlfriend with her friends? She's not even in the video, and he's on her boat. Like, what are we doing here, dude?
I go the opposite. I'd say get as far away from your girlfriend as possible.
It's bad advice, Wyatt.
Yeah, what good's gonna come hanging around a former stripper turned giant rapper? Explain to me the upside.
Nothing.
Well, we know the upside, but
He just shouldn't be talking to the chuz in general.
Let me ask you one question.
It's too bad.
Do you think Cardi B will be at New England Patriots games if they're still together?
I mean, she's exactly Bill Belichick's type, so she might be there. We don't know. If this Jordan Hudson thing falls through, maybe that's the backup plan for old Billy B.
Okay, whatever. But Cardi B, it make New England a very, like, because they're usually like the Tom Brady and the Edelman, the Gronk. I'll just say,
I'll be serious. She ain't coming to New England.
No,
she might be in the stands when they play in L.A., but she ain't coming to New England.
Small city guys, right? And then you have this huge personality that walks in the locker room. You're like, all right, what the hell is going on here? But I think Diggs will be good for New England and in the long run, even for the young guys. And I think it just brings more energy to a team that's been dead for the last 4 years. Like, let's be honest. Like, they haven't been exciting at all. He'll get targets. He'll have some fun plays. He'll have some touchdowns. Drake may leap, but that's for a different day.
Yeah, all I know is if she starts getting the Taylor Swift treatment, I might walk to New England and, like, choke out a producer myself for doing that.
So we're just sending threats. Okay, I'm going to have to edit that out.
Wow, this guy's gone rabid.
Stephon Diggs, that's covered. And we'll go on to our last topic here. Talking a bit more NFL because it's June. Once we get into July, we're going to be able to heat up some NFL stuff. But which quarterbacks are in a make or break season? And I'll start first with an example, and you guys can build off some. Like, this is like make or break. I'm not talking a young guy or like a old guy. Who's a guy in like the middle where it's like, all right, this guy needs to establish his life in the NFL. I'll start first. No doubt, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I think that's what I base this criteria off of. A guy, he's got Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. now. The O-line's good. He's got a decent run duo in ETN and Bigsby. So there should be no excuses. I think what make or break means for Trevor Lawrence, I think you have to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Have to make the playoffs. So that's my make or break for Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, I'm going to take the other easy one because I think if he doesn't perform this year, he's gone. I think it's Kyler Murray. I think people have talked about him all the time. Cardinals are supposed to be good. And they're never, ever good. They had that one season where I think they went 11-2 in the first 13 games. Absolutely crumbled in the second half of the season. Lost to the Rams in the playoffs when he threw a crazy pick six.
The Monday night game.
Brutal pick six. I feel like he's had weapons around him, and he just can't do anything with it.
D-Hop.
So
Marvin
I think they got to cut him loose if he's not good this year.
What do the Cardinals need to do for his make or break?
I think
I might say playoff win for the Cardinals just because they've already been to the playoffs.
That's fair too. I agree.
Win one. Win us a playoff game, Kyler Murray. You have a mega contract. Win us a playoff game.
Unless they win the division or something, but they're not. He's not. I have no faith in him.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah, same as Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, I have a little bit more faith than Kyler Murray.
You can't expect a QB to win.
I'm not behind him.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, this team's good.
You didn't say that before the season, though.
Yeah, like
I had Jaden. By the way, I had Jaden Daniels for offensive rookie of the year last year.
Look at the camera and say that with your chest.
Yeah. I did. I'm very happy about that.
So did you?
Yep.
Really?
But I picked Dallas Turner
best
for
quarterback in the draft the whole time.
Fair.
But I'll go with another one. Another guy who I would say is somewhat in a similar situation to Kyler Murray, but he's passed the eye test a little more. Justin Herbert. I think he needs to win a playoff game.
That's fair.
His team is good. His coach is good. We've seen him get to the playoffs. We've seen him have one of the worst playoff chokes of all time, and we've seen him throw up a complete dud in the playoffs this year. So I think this is a guy who, is he a social media quarterback or is he a winning quarterback? We need to prove that.
That loss against Houston was unacceptable, having Houston's injuries.
Both his playoff losses are absolutely unacceptable. Cannot happen.
Yeah. Do you agree? You're a huge Herbert guy, so are you going to defend him on this one? Or do
No,
you
he just didn't show up, but he's still the 5th best quarterback in the league.
Disagree.
Whoa.
I have him. We were talking about this today. I had him
just
7.
mentioned is
I had him.
Jane Daniels.
Daniels is not better.
I have him. Well, Daniels took him to the NFC Championship, so I take Stroud. Stroud beat him head to head. Stroud's better than Herbert. What are we talking about right now? How?
Stroud.
How's he not?
With a worse
Herbert's
team,
a better athlete. He can throw away further.
Did he win? Did he beat Stroud in the playoffs?
It doesn't matter.
This isn't track and field.
Why does it not matter?
QB's is not head to head. Who's better? It's just who's
He
the better.
outplayed him though.
Yeah, it's one game. It doesn't mean.
But it was in the playoffs.
Yeah, so Herbert's a better player for sure.
So Lamar's better than Burrow.
Yeah. I think so.
I think Lamar's better than Burrow.
Burrow's 4th best.
Burrow's hanging on to a season 3 years ago that he was good in the playoffs.
He was
He
the
needs-
best quarterback in the league last year. He had a terrible defense.
Would you say
No,
Burrow's
his
in a
stats
make
are
or
only
break
good because he
season?
was playing from behind the whole time. And they
Burrow's
also
an
had no
established
run game.
QB.
They've never had a run game though. They were never going to have a like. We know they're going to air raid everyone.
If the Bengals miss the playoffs this year, what do we talk about?
I mean, it depends what it looks like.
Zach
New
Taylor
head
fired.
coach. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Burrow's not the problem.
And a new GM, actually.
Yeah,
I don't know how. I think they have other GM for a while.
They probably
Yeah.
both should have been fired, to be honest.
yeah.
But
Zach
I don't know
Taylor's
how
on the
they- I don't
heavy
know
hot
how
seat.
they-
I don't really see a world where the Bengals miss the playoffs next year, though.
Yeah, there definitely is.
You think so?
Look at the teams in the AFC.
There's a world,
I
yeah.
get that, but
Also, look at their division.
Yeah.
Not an easy division.
But would you admit that Lamar is better than Burrow if the Ravens win the division again next year?
No, because I need to see Lamar actually win a playoff game, a meaningful playoff game.
I
Beat someone who's not significantly worse than
as a
you.
Lamar fan, I'd take Burrow over Lamar. I get Lamar. He might have more talent. He does way crazier stuff in the regular season and stuff. But I've seen Burrow been able to get over the hump. I haven't seen Lamar even be able to beat Josh Allen. That's why it's so hard for me to defend him in a winning aspect.
It's fair.
But do you have a QB that you want to?
I was going to say Kyler Murray.
Hold on, sorry. What is break?
Win a playoff game.
Win a playoff game?
Yes.
Okay. For you.
QB?
Yeah.
I was going to say Murray, but, I mean, Justin Fields, I'd say. It's his last chance
He's
as
going
a
to be
starting
good.
QB.
He's going to be good this year.
To actually prove something.
I'm in on it.
Yeah,
I'm
if he
in on
does
him.
good, sure, keep that Jets job. I mean, they have the Lions, like...
Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, that guy. Or no,
And Engstrand's
Engstrand is the OC. Which obviously, he's going to have
What
something
coach
up
was
his
it? The
He
offensive
was the
line coach?
pass game coordinator.
pass game. Yeah,
So he was there for like 3 years, like 4 years, all with Ben
Okay,
Johnson.
yeah. So does Fields make or break make the playoffs?
he's not making the playoffs.
Jets will make playoffs this year.
What does he have to do?
I think.
He just has to. Not every QB's making the playoffs and needs to win a playoff game to confirm they're a good QB.
I think Fields is
just
more
watch them
individual
in the regular
performance,
season
actually,
and put on good
which is
performances.
like rare, but
just show you can
In
be
the
a
mix of
starting
the playoffs,
QB. Yeah,
playoff hunt.
yeah. No one
Like we're
expects
talking
the
about
Jets
them
to
in
make the
December.
playoffs.
Yeah.
That could squeeze the 7th seed.
Just show you're a starting QB and you deserve a shot next year.
I got another name. I'm curious about your guys' opinion on this. Is it how much of a make or break is it for Sam Darnold? Because I thought it looked like he proved himself as a legit quarterback last year, and then crashed and burned.
I'll
at
say
the end
this
of the
because
year.
Joey made a good point. He's not going to win anything in the playoffs, but if he puts up the same stats that he did, like similar to the Vikings, and doesn't make the playoffs, I think he's good because
he's fine.
Seattle's fine with this mediocrity. If he puts up a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards, and he throws some interceptions, but he's like winning them like 8 to 9 games, and they're competitive, and he's slinging it still. Like he doesn't look like the shell he was in New York.
Yeah.
I'm fine with
or
it.
the shell he was the last 3 weeks.
Sure.
I mean, from a monetary perspective, he just got a new deal. I think he's not going to get a deal after this deal. That's crazy, anyways.
No.
Because what is it, 3 years? I want to
3
say it
years,
was 3
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And
They drafted
he's going to be
Milroe.
garbage in 3 years. I think this year he'll be decent. Year after
Kevin O'Connell made him so much better than he was.
Yeah, he did. Schematically, the Vikings were awesome last year.
I've never seen a player just hemorrhaging money with each drop back the way Sam Darnold was last year in the last 3 weeks.
He lost himself a shit
Every time he dropped back in to throw a pass, he was like lighting millions of dollars on fire.
If he won that playoff game, he would have made so much money.
They were never
so
winning.
much money.
They were never winning though. Sadly.
Oh, there's Anthony Richardson.
I was just gonna say the obvious name is Anthony Richardson. That's why my two biggest right here, Lawrence and Anthony Richardson, still in the same division. Anthony Richardson going into, he missed a lot of his rookie year, but going into year three,
I would say next year's for him more so.
But still, I think
still better be decent.
You have these dudes now. You get Tyler Warren. You have a good old line established. Jonathan Taylor was like a beast at the end of the season. Michael Pittman, Adonai Mitchell, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs. You got a bunch of guys that can go in there, especially if Warren's like a number one target for them. All these complementary pieces are perfect. And if he this dude was putting up like under 100 passing yards a game last year.
Brutal.
Like he was terrible. And Shane Steichen, like I thought this guy was gonna make, like we said, make him into Jalen Hurts. Obviously, he's not gonna make him into Jalen Hurts, but in a sense that like he's gonna make him efficient, rely on the run game, etc. So it's just weird for me if he throws a dud like he did last year, I'm out on him. I'm not even gonna sit around and wait for him because it's just not worth it. A guy like that because he's similar to Fields. Like, excuse me, in Chicago we called Fields a running back. He was making plays for a shit team. The Colts aren't a shit team.
No.
And they fired Gus Bradley. Who did they hire as their DC?
The Colts.
Can you search that up?
Yeah. I have no clue.
But that defense was pretty bad last year. So I'll cut him a little bit of slack. But Shane Steichen, he's like a decent.
He was good when the Bengals went on the run.
Yeah. I guess they really had no personnel last year though, right? So it's hard. But if Shane Steichen he's on the hot seat, by the way. If the Colts are bad, Jim Irsay would have fired him, rest in peace, but whoever the new owner is, they'll probably fire him.
His kids.
Yeah, they'll get rid of Chris Ballard too, the GM. They'll just
he's
sweep
had too
both
many
at
chances
once. So they don't really known for hitting in the draft either big time.
Not really. No.
Tyler Warren might save his job, but that's about it. So that's what I think. Anthony Richardson, Trevor Lawrence. I like that Kyler Murray one because he's a guy that's just been like this his whole time. He got into the playoffs once and then he got lit on fire. But Cardinals, I guess the Cardinals were better than expected technically last year. I believe they were 8-9 and their win total was at 6.5. So if Marvin Harrison can take a jump too, like we're talking maybe a wild card team for sure. If he takes a big jump and the defense.
Would they take first round this year?
Walter Nolan.
He'll be a beast.
That's not even a great division either. Like it's
that's why this
insane.
Is their chance, like,
it's not insane for them to pull that division out.
If I told you the Cardinals would be better than the 49ers next year, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be completely shocked.
I'd be surprised.
Like it's definitely possible. I wouldn't pick it to happen, but
I'd be more shocked.
If they won the division, because I think the Rams, I'd still pick the Rams to win it.
Fair.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
The Rams should be
because like I'm just waiting for the Rams to just fall.
I just say
fall off a cliff.
I just say in a sense that I'd be more shocked if they won the division, just because the Niners. I wouldn't be surprised if they were better than the Niners, but I wouldn't be surprised either if the Niners won the division. I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners did that because they still do have their core players. Yeah, even though I think McCaffrey, he could be done. Kittle got the extension, but he's aging a little bit. Purdy, he doesn't have this like super complementary offense now. Trent Williams is probably in his last year. Ayuk's coming off an ACL. Like there's just so much shit going on there, but they do still have talent. But at the end of the day, if you told me Kyle Shanahan's going to coach his team really well and Purdy's going to be very efficient and they're going to win the division, I'd say, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are pretty much all the names. I wouldn't really. Who else? Tua?
Nah,
I was gonna say
he's
Purdy.
already done though.
Purdy is a contract though.
Yeah, I know, but like
they're not getting rid of him.
No, they're not gonna get rid of him, but like prove you're not average.
If the Dolphins are atrocious this year, could Tua be benched?
I would just trade everybody. Honestly,
I don't know if he'd be benched. I think it's more likely that they just blow.
It's so weird because the Dolphins, when they got Tua, this was their rebuild. Tua, Waddle, Jalen
They
Phillips.
got to restart.
All these young guys.
Yeah, it's too bad.
And it's went to shit. Like, Miami's not going to make the playoffs next year.
No. Because they get used to the heat.
Wait till we do AFC East division predictions and a certain someone has them winning the division again for like the 4th year in a row.
Yeah. He had them in the Super Bowl actually last year against the Eagles.
What?
Yeah.
At least he got one side right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But no, Dolphins are going to be a weird team to talk about because they have so much talent. One, is Tua going to stay healthy? Like, if Tua stays healthy, too, they could also be a wild card team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say right now, even as a Patriots fan, if not, I don't know if you guys can attest this, the Patriots look like a better team than the Dolphins.
I don't.
Yeah,
there's less question marks.
More complete.
Better
coach.
Yeah,
I'd take Vrabel 10 times out of 10 over Mike McDaniel, even though he's a great player.
sucks.
Patriots went crazy in free agency. Got a contender for the Super Bowl MVP in Milton Williams. They got Diggs. They got Carlton Davis from the Lions. Maybe one of the best corner duos in the NFL if you're talking two versus two. So
definitely one of the best.
This team, they look good. The AFC East could be a bloodbath too if the Jets are competitive.
Well, outside of the Bills, yeah.
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 But the Bills, obviously, every game they play in is going to be good, so it doesn't really matter. But I want to see the Patriots be able to split with the Bills. I think that'd be a good sign. If they can win at home, a big game where it's like fully healthy teams, I think that's a good sign.
I feel like they do that every year anyways.
No matter what happens.
They somehow, like, whether it's last year and they win Week 18
playing.
or they win some random, like 2 years ago, I believe they beat the Bills in one game.
Yeah.
Like, they always seem to find some wacky way to beat Buffalo.
Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for episode 53 of the Alec Frengos Show. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.
Nice.